The stone in my hand it looked like it had been crushed or heavily shocked. The entire stone was covered in cracks, but I didn't care at all. I spoke casually and gently. Auntie Xing, why don't you blow on it? Maybe it'll cut a profit. Huh? Blow on it? Xing Yishan was a bit bewildered, her peach blossom eyes widening, not knowing what I was up to. That's right. You mischievous little devil. All you do all day is make me happy. Xing Yishan gave me a look and smoothed her hair. Just try it. Auntie Xing is so beautiful. Maybe one blow will blow away these cracks from the jade. Su Liufeng, stop talking. There are so many people here. Originally, some curious people had already looked over, wanting to see who was so interesting. But when they saw Xing Yishan, their eyes all lit up. I have to admit, she was truly stunning. Immediately, every single one of them turned towards me with envious expressions. Xing Yishan just wanted to find a hole to crawl into. She certainly didn't believe that blowing on it could make it cut a profit. But under my expectant gaze, she still bent down slightly and pretended to blow a few times. Is that okay? Xing Yishan had once seen on some romance show that the best state of being in love is when you're being mischievous, and he's being mischievous with you. He won't think you're childish, and you won't find his behavior strange, although she was past the age for mischief. I was still a young man. It's normal to like these playful jokes. She also wanted to be mischievous with me, I said confidently. It's okay now. Auntie Xing, I have a feeling. This stone will definitely cut a profit. Do you think I'm a fairy? Really? If it doesn't make a profit, I'll eat this broken stone right here on the spot, huh? Eat it, eat it. When the time comes, they'll pour some honey for you to mix with it so it's sweeter and easier to swallow. Hearing these words of ours, the other people around all shook their heads, finding it quite amusing. This is the typical mentality of a newcomer, always thinking they are the luckiest person, the chosen one. They were the same when they first started, thinking that good things would always fall into their lap, but after cutting more than 10 stones at a heavy loss, they accepted their fate. This business is 1 part effort and 9 parts luck. But no one spoke up. After all, offending people, for no benefit, is something these shrewd people wouldn't do. After arriving at the stone cutting area, I found an empty stone cutting machine and started discussing with the master cutter from earlier about the cutting angle. After observing for a long time, even the master cutter shook his head. Boss, this stone of yours doesn't look very good. Too many cracks. You can see it with the naked eye. Sigh, I shouldn't have said this. But you two have already cooperated on cutting more than 10 stones, so we can be considered acquaintances. But when he heard it was bought for 100,000, the master cutter felt it was normal again. This little bit of money to the young man in front of him was practically nothing. Make 3 vertical cuts. I marked 3 cutting lines, dividing the raw stone into 4 pieces, which would just happen to reveal the cabochon, the imperial green in the middle, and it wouldn't seem too intentional. Hold it steady now. If it cuts a profit, you'll be happy to give. You a big red envelope? Yes, boss? Hearing this, the master cutter became even more focused, and some sharp-eyed people saw that I was cutting a stone again. They immediately gathered around curiously. Zzz! The first cut was made. It's green, it's green. The old master's eyes just lit up, and he shouted excitedly, but he quickly frowned again. No, that's not right. This is not good. What a pity. Such good jade quality is full of cracks. The cut piece was indeed green, but as everyone expected, the external cracks went straight through the jade. Inside the jade meat, there were also many small cracks. It would be difficult to even make a string of beads. Tisk! What a pity. Xiao Feng, blow on it. The blowing didn't work. Xing Yishan spread her hands, saying somewhat helplessly. I laughed teasingly. Maybe Auntie Xing didn't blow with all her heart. Let's try again next time. Maybe it will work next time. Xing Yishan glanced at me. You're talking nonsense. Whether this stone is good or not, what does it have to do with blowing on it? Xing Yishan pouted, her small hands expertly pinching my waist. In a voice only the two of us could hear, she whispered, Me, I don't want to joke around with you. Huh? What joking around? I didn't hear clearly, but just at this moment. The second cut was also made, and this cut was able to reveal the imperial green jade surface. Boss, there's still. Wait, the old master said with some dejection, but suddenly his eyes widened, excitedly, in a voice that almost shook the entire hall. He yelled, Oh my God, it's green, it's a deep, rich green. The voice was so loud that the entire hall was immediately in an uproar. Some people from afar were also drawn over. Then immediately after, at the scene, another deafening roar of astonishment erupted, as if it could blow the roof off. Oh my God, who said this stone was ordinary? This is way too good. This is an imperial green jadeite face, isn't it? On the stone cutting machine, a sparkling emerald green color appeared before everyone's eyes. That green was so rich it looked like it was about to drip water, as big as a pigeon's egg. Looking closer, the texture of the jade face was smooth, like the highest quality mutton fat jade. And on the surrounding jade flesh, there were indeed large cracks, crisscrossing all over the stone. But strangely, right at the center, at the intersection of these large cracks, it left such a piece, an imperial green jade face shaped like a flawless pigeon's egg. I really don't know what to say about this. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call it a miracle. Seeing everyone so excited, Xing Yishan was also a little dazed. What's going on? I was just dazed for a moment. How did this stone's value increase again? And the cheers of so many people also attracted some wealthy businessmen and jade collectors. Everyone was craning their necks, looking left and right, constantly letting out sounds of admiration. This is indeed an imperial green jadeite face. Oh my god, it's that rough stone again. The one auctioned for 100,000 yuan. It seems so. I actually misjudged it. In the crowd, even the always composed Zhu Rubing, who had seen countless precious jadeites, also became excited. An imperial green jadeite face of this scale is extremely rare and precious on the market. Even though she had auctioned countless rough jadeites in her life, she had never encountered one. Zhu Rubing stared intently at that jade face, as if afraid it would disappear in the next second. She silently calculated in her heart. If this imperial green jadeite face were made into high-end jewelry, then the price at auction would probably be unimaginably high. And the greatest wish of her life was to auction an imperial green jade face. But this kind of thing is something you only encounter by fate. Unexpectedly, she encountered it today. If she could win the auction rights, not only could it make the Xialong auction house famous, she could also earn a huge sum. Of course, this wasn't just about money, but it could also bring her a sense of very strong professional achievement. In an instant, the woman's gaze, in the cheongsam looking at me, had become a little. My friend, your jade face is really beautiful. The color is so pure, and the size is also very good. I'll offer 10 million. Can you sell it to me? A middle-aged man approached to start a conversation. Before I could refuse, someone else immediately shouted, "That's a top-quality imperial green jade face. I'll pay 11 million. Hey, the highest bidder gets it. 13 million. Fuyu Jewelry will take it. I'll pay 13.5 million. In an instant, the sound of bidding rang out ceaselessly from the crowd. The price had already jumped to 15 million. At a glance, it had turned into a small auction. The offers at the scene were all very good, but I wasn't very satisfied. The market value that the system gave was indeed only 16 million, but that's only because the imperial green jade face, purely in terms of quality, had reached this level. If it were carved and designed by masters, meaning adding an artistic element, and even offering some high-end clients, exclusive custom and personalized pieces, the price could increase by tens of millions more. After all, this thing is perfect as a gift. However, it's also very suitable for those who need to buy gifts. So, in my heart, if this jade face were to be auctioned, it would probably be worth around 25 million. After all, I only bought it for 100,000. I won't lose money no matter what. Boss, please hold it carefully. This is very precious. After all, I had given a red envelope of 50,000 before, so the old master carefully wrapped the 10 pieces of that imperial green jade face and handed them to me. Seeing this, I didn't hesitate, and generously wrapped a large red envelope for this master. That's his entire year's income from cutting stones. This immediately made the old master grin from ear to ear. He even felt a little embarrassed. After all, he didn't put in much effort. Even the cutting line was drawn by me. He even felt that the money was earned too easily. The highest price that the jewelry merchants at the scene offered was 17 million. It had reached this point, and seeing I still had no intention of selling. Seeing this, Zhu Raobing's eyes immediately darted around and she approached. Using a gentle, soft voice, she said softly, "Mr. Chu, can we talk privately for a moment?" Seeing that Zhu Raobing had finally come over, my eyes shifted slightly. I nodded gently, and holding Xing Yishan's hand, followed Zhu Raobing to a quiet private room. It's just that on the way, Xing Yishan received a phone call and went to the side to take it, leaving me alone. Seeing this scene, Zhu Raobing's gaze became even more gentle. As soon as we entered the private room, Zhu Raobing quickly turned around, her eyes sparkling with a gentle light. She reached out with both hands and gently took my arm. At this moment, Zhu Raobing showed a completely different side compared to when she was at the auction house. Her lively eyes were full of tenderness. She said softly, "Mr. Chu, my name is Zhu Raobing. You can call me Bing Bing. You can also call me Xiao Zhu. Either is fine." After guiding me to the sofa, she elegantly stood up, turned and gently adjusted the cheongsam she was wearing. Then she slowly squatted down beside the sofa, her posture graceful and poised. Her face and my face were very close. She said softly, "Mr. Chu, this imperial green jade face of yours, what price are you looking to sell it for?" Her voice carried a hint of softness, yet was full of sincerity, making one feel very comfortable listening to it. "What do you think?" I said nonchalantly with a cryptic look. I wanted to see if this Zhu Raobing was competent or not, whether she would treat me like an amateur. Looking into my deep eyes, Zhu Raobing didn't dare to be careless. She gently pursed her red lips, her gaze fixed on the rough stone with the jade face. In those agile eyes sparkled a professional and sharp light. After assessing the rough stone, and after a moment of thought, she said with a light smile, "This jade face is of very good quality. There aren't many like it on the market. If you sell it as is, it could probably fetch around 18 million. However, Mr. Chu, as you know, jade must be polished to be valuable. If it were given to master carvers to create a unique design for it, and then brought to our Xialong auction house for auction, in my experience, it could easily be auctioned for between 25 and 33 million. If we find a buyer with special needs or some buyers who love this kind of item, 30 or 40 million wouldn't be a problem either, but that would depend on luck." She spoke honestly, gently stroking the jade face, seemingly fond of it and reluctant to let go. Her words also made me nod slightly, in agreement. Zhu Rubing leaned forward again, gently swaying her body. Her figure, hugged by the cheongsam, moved gently. Mr. Chu, if you agree to entrust me, let us help you handle this rough stone. We will definitely sell it for a high price that will satisfy you. And she considerately held my arm tightly. Zhu Rubing said sweetly, I am also willing, during the auction process, to provide you with the most exclusive and attentive service. Sincerity? I glanced at her, smiling lightly, not hiding my skepticism. Mr. Chu, I'm not kidding. As long as you sign the contract with our auction house, I will personally follow the entire auction process, be at your beck and call, and ensure everything is handled properly for you. Mr. Chu, what do you think? She looked up, her eyes full of anticipation, looking straight at me. Having said this much, it was indeed very sincere. Much better than the girl, who didn't know her place, quoted an outrageous price at the tea house earlier. We can get down to business now. Zhu Rubing looked at me expectantly. Her lively eyes were filled with hope. Very good, I said nonchalantly. Reserve price of 28 million. I'll pay the carving fee. You find the person. If the transaction price exceeds 30 million, I'll give you an extra 1 million bonus. 40 million, you get 1.5 million. 50 million, you get 2 million. The so-called reserve price is to ensure the transaction price will not be lower than the expected price. My expected price is 28 million. Therefore, the final price of the auction must be higher than this amount. If it doesn't reach that level, then even if someone wins the bid for this imperial green jadeite, the auction for the jade face will be voided. Hearing these words, Zhu Rubing's lively eyes immediately widened, and even her breathing became ragged. Oh my God, you have to know. Even though she was the auction director and general manager of the Shillong auction house, the auction house wasn't doing very well at the moment, so her commission rate was only 1%, pitifully low. So even if it auctioned for 30 million, she would only get 300,000. But now I was directly giving her an extra 1 million bonus. Furthermore, the higher the auction price, the more she would earn. If it reached 50 million, including the auction house's commission, she could earn nearly 2 million this time. She could buy a good car with that. This made her whole body tremble with excitement, and her eyes were filled with joy. Yes, Mr. Chu, I'll draft the contract right away. After saying that, she excitedly bent over the coffee table in front of the sofa, her fingers tapping continuously as she started to draft the contract, completely disregarding whether her posture was elegant or not. In any case, it was very eye-catching from my point of view. Zhu Rubing, perhaps because the bonus was very excited, her fingers trembling slightly, but she truly lived up to her professional reputation. Despite her excitement, she quickly finished drafting the contract. Ah, Mr. Chu, please take a look. Zhu Rubing's gaze was gentle as she handed her phone over. She bit her lip lightly. If you need to add anything else, I'll add it right away. I casually scrolled through it. There were no problems. I nodded slightly and said nonchalantly, Okay, let's go with this. Hearing this, Zhu Rubing immediately nodded excitedly. Just as she was about to stand up, but perhaps because she stood up too quickly, her legs felt a little weak, and she stumbled and fell into me. Sorry. She hurriedly tried to steady herself, saying with an apologetic expression, I'm sorry. Mr. Chu, I was rude. I'll go print it right now. Please wait for me for a moment. As Zhu Rubing was leaving, taking elegant steps out to go print the contract, and just as she stepped out of the private room, she ran into Xing Yishan, who was coming in after her phone call. She glanced in surprise at the gentle-faced Zhu Rubing. Her charming peach blossom eyes narrowed slightly. Her small, delicate nose sniffed lightly. There was a faint fragrance in the private room, but it was also mixed with a hint of something else. Seeing Xing Yishan's slightly off expression, I immediately stood up and hugged her, leading her to sit down on the sofa. Auntie Xing, who called? Your Auntie Li? She's woken up, said she's gathered the money, and asked if I was home. She's bringing the money over now. The drunk auntie? She works fast. Xiaofeng, you and her, between you two. Why was she going out like that? In Xing Yishan's peach blossom eyes, a trace of suspicion appeared. She looked me up and down, as if wanting to read something on my face. Who knows, she was probably just excited. Xing Yishan crossed her arms, sitting formally. Her peach blossom eyes also narrowed into crescents, a smile that wasn't a smile. She said gently, Excited? Xiaofeng, tell me. Did you do something to her? Auntie Xing, why are you so much like my mom? No wonder you two are best friends. You make this face whenever you're angry. I was startled, and hurriedly held Xing Yishan's shoulders, quickly recounting everything that had just happened. Of course, just about the profit-sharing part. As for the other details, I'm not an idiot. After I finished speaking, Xing Yishan returned to normal, an appreciative look appearing on her face. What you did was very right. We don't really know about jadeite. It's best to let a professional handle this kind of thing. She can find some reliable master carvers, have it exquisitely carved, and it can be sold for a high price. At the same time, using a bonus to bind her will make Zhu Rubing, for the sake of earning a bit more money, be even more dedicated and diligent. It also saves us the effort. Saying that, she tilted her head slightly, looked at me with a doting, comforting gaze and said, My Xiaofeng is all grown up. Not only do you know a lot, but your thinking has also become so sophisticated.